G'day guys, Maddie17 here again, recording for you today the Hoover Elite 920 top loader washer from the late 1970s, I believe. Don't know an exact date. It's got a beautiful stainless steel tub and a gorgeous sort of surgilator style agitator, ramp style agitator I think they call it. It's fully removable, so all you do is push that white button down the side like I'm doing now and just pop it out. And it's really easy to clean, and you can keep that bowl really clean. You can keep the agitator really clean. It's perfect. When I got it, it was really gunked up underneath, so obviously nobody had discovered this. The previous owners, there was a lot of lint. But you can see the fins on that and the shape of it. It's just such a powerful agitator in the turnover. It's kind of hard to put it back in. You just got to find that sweet spot. So today we're going to be washing sheets on a hot wash. It's got a good range of cycles. It's got gentle cycles, permanent press cycle, good superwash cycles. We're using Omo product today. We're using Omo Expert antibacterial powder for these. We're going to set it up to a whites and colours wash, which I think is about a 9-minute wash, all in all. Select the hot temperature and select the low water level, because despite it being a load of sheets, it still doesn't completely fill the washer. It's got a good angled fill flume, which helps during the spray rinsing. Which is particularly powerful, as you'll see later. But for now, we're just going to fill it up. Hot water. It's good hot water as well. It's about 55, 60 degrees. We'll add in a scoop of Omo Expert antibacterial, and we will get going. So sheets are loaded in, filling up. If you're wondering what that penny is at the back, that you can see, it's just it's just holding the lid switch down, so that it'll spin and drain without the lid switch on. We're just about ready to set off for the agitation, so here we go. See how powerful that turnover is, just even like in the initial stages of it. It's just dragging those sheets under and turning them over. Like I say, that's a king size set of sheets, and I've got it on the low water level, so I can't put any less water in that, and it's still doing an absolutely amazing job at turning them over. Getting some good friction there as well. It's it's rubbing them against each other. It's not it's not floating through the water too much. So all in all, that's the perfect action, I think, for a top loader, in my opinion. But yeah, on with the wash. this is the last part of the wash that I'm filming here, so we're still getting good agitation. It's still hammering its way through, doing a beautiful job. In a minute or so now it'll click into drain, then it'll move off into the spin and the spray rinse. It spins the load for 2 minutes before it clicks onto spray, and then it sprays the load while spinning for the last minute and a half or 2 minutes of the spray rinse cycle. So it doesn't turn off the spray, all it does is turn the drain and the drum off and starts to fill for the deep rinse. So there you go. So here we are just carrying on with the neutral drain before heading into the spin. As I said before, it does the spin first, then it clicks into the spray rinse where it just turns the water on, cold water spray, and sprays them until it's ready to go into the rinse where it just stops the drum and fills up the rinse. Yeah, these did a neutral drain. Older models did a spin drain, but by this point we were doing neutral drains. So, yes. Once that initial startup noise goes away, it's a really quiet machine when it's spinning. Like, for such a huge machine, when it's spinning, it's probably the quietest part of the cycle. Oh, maybe apart from the drain's fairly quiet, but yeah, while it's spinning, it's like, yeah, not really all that noisy. If I had the lid on it as well, I don't think you'd hear too much, just a bit of a motor hum. It's quite balanced as well, so that probably helps. here we've clicked on the spray rinse. So it'll do this now until it's ready to stop and go into deep rinse, and it'll just turn the spinner off and the drain off and carry on filling the rinse. So it's a really powerful spray rinse. If it's a particularly heavy load, the amount of water that's being fired into it can slow the drum down, but it'll never totally stop. So it's still flushing out the suds, but on a load like this, it's just absolutely perfect. It just surges all that water through while it's spinning and just gives them such a good rinse before it even gets to the movement. So if you had it on a woolens temperature as well, it'd be spray rinsed with warm water, which would be even more powerful. So all in all, it's one of the best spray rinses I've ever seen, and it does it again for a shorter time in the final spin, so getting double. Here we go with the deep rinse, guys. It's nearly there. I've upped the water level a little bit just to give it a bit more flow through, just to see what it's like with a higher level, and just to demonstrate that. Popping in some Snuggle Super Care Ocean Breeze fragrance. Not my favourite softener, gotta say, but it's one of those things that you've got to try, because I like to try different softeners and whatnot. There you go, we've headed off. So yeah, this is now a medium water level, so the level's up a bit higher, and you'll see that it still does an absolutely fantastic job at surging those clothes through. Once it's actually able to beat most of the air bubbles out of the sheets. In top loaders, it's quite a common problem that you get like a big air bubble after the spin with sheets. So during the final rinse, it can sometimes kind of linger on, but this is managing to knock it out quite effectively just with that action. So yeah, it'll do this for, I think it's about 3 minutes, the deep rinse, and then it'll click on to final spin. Carrying on with the final rinse. doing a very good job. I'll just pop the softener dispenser on there. I didn't even mention the softener dispenser before I realised. It's not something I use because, I don't know, because it just seems like one more thing to get gummed up with softener. I just put it straight in the cycle as I'm usually there. But yeah, that's the softener dispenser that came with them. Pretty neat, looks nice. When I was cleaning this machine out, I had that softener dispenser sat on the dish drainer at work, and my colleague came along and said, "Is that like a little alien aircraft or something that's just landed on the sink? Because it looks like it, I suppose." I said, "No, it's a fabric softener dispenser," and he was like, "Oh, all right." Drain for final spin. Off we go into final spin, guys. 3, 2, 1. It'll do another shorter spray rinse just after the final spin starts for about a minute, I think. A lot less than the regular spray rinse. Some people think that will spray out a lot of the softener. Like, you know, it'll sort of dilute the softener away and spin that away. Softener tends to hang around with cold water. If it was a warm spray, then maybe that would shift some because it's technically a fat. So cold water, it kind of still lingers on. But there you go, that's the final spray and spin. I think the spin's about 600, 550, 600, it's not very fast. I can still get a decent amount of water out of towels from this thing in the spin dryer. So, yes. But that's about it really for this machine, guys. It's a great machine. It's such a good Australian classic machine. So many people had these. They were in the background a lot during the recording of Neighbours. So you might have seen them there, but it's just a good classic machine in these classic Australian colours of that era, the brown, the orange, tan. Just a real 1970s classic. So I'm really glad to have it, and I'm really glad to film it, and I'm really glad to be sending it overseas to England. So let's see what happens there. Thanks guys, enjoy the rest of the video.